Welcome everybody to the Reptile Room Tour October edition. It has been almost, I guess, 5 months now since I made a Reptile Room Tour, and a ton has changed. There's going to be some very exciting things happening in this Reptile Room Tour. I'm going to go through all the secret projects that maybe you guys haven't heard of yet. I'm also going to be feeding the turtles, maybe a few other animals, so make sure you stick around. We do have a great update on the Fijian banded iguana that I need to share with you all. And I did want to address the amount of animals that you saw in the title. We do have that many animals, and you might be asking yourself, how's that possible? Well, it is baby season. We have like 25 to 30 baby hognoses that we are going to be selling, so yes, while 125 animals is excessive, this is not a video promoting the fact that everybody should have 125 animals. Because as awesome as it is to have a rack of animals behind here, it is a ton of work, and both my girlfriend and I run our own business and we work full-time jobs. Then we come home to work a full-time job in the reptile room. So this is not a lifestyle for everybody. I'm not advocating you should go out and get a bunch of reptiles. With that said, let's get into the tour, starting with the beautiful rat snakes. But before we get into the rat snakes, I did want to mention, if you guys like these kind of videos, make sure you click that like button. Feel free to leave any questions, comments, concerns that you have in the comment section down below. Of course, click subscribe. Feel free to follow me on Instagram if that's still a thing. I do have some merch link down below. There's a lot of ways that you guys can check out some stuff, so make sure you go down there. And now let's get on with the rat snake, and then we can talk about all the different changes that have been happening in the reptile room. First things first, the 361824 that was here for Titoka has now been turned into a rat snake tank for Borneo Red-tailed Rats. These are the Borneo locale, so they look nothing like a standard red tail. As you can see, they are very much yellow and like a blue coloration. After their drink, they still haven't shown their tail. A standard red-tailed rat snake is pretty much just green with a bright red tail. You can kind of see they do have definitely a yellowish green tint to them, but their tail that you can see right there is actually like a bright blue coloration. Not your everyday rat snake just chilling in this enclosure. You guys might be thinking that this is a very large species of snake for a fairly small enclosure, and as you can tell, there are a pair in there. Where they're actually going is down here. This is a 4x2x4 enclosure. I have mentioned it in other videos. This is basically the same design as the one that Titoka is in, our Fijian banded iguana that we'll go see next, because he has moved into his large enclosure full time. I will probably make a build video on it. Not sure yet because it is Bree's kind of project, so it's going to be challenging to do so, but I'm very excited to get this set up. Nice planted, super cool vivarium. As you can tell, this large piece of cork is going to be going in there. That kind of covers the red-tailed rat snakes. Definitely not a super common locality at all. These guys are so cool. Yeah, drink the water off his back. They're definitely a bit of more of a testy species of snake. They have some fun and some spunk built into them, but a fantastic species nonetheless. And now I did mention that we are going to go see Titoka next, and this is him. His tank has grown in a ton since you guys last seen it. I'll throw some clips over right now to show you what it looked like before we moved him in. As you can see, the grass in the back had not grown pretty much at all. The palm tree in the front, not much. The pothos hadn't even really grown very much. And here we are today. Everything has grown in super well. As you can tell, he does frequently chomp on the pothos. We do have some slugs in here, which destroyed his fern, but the grass is doing fairly well. Unfortunately, we did have some issues with thrips. We are still currently dealing with them. There's no real way to completely eradicate them. We're doing mostly biological control because we don't want any of those super bugs. Something that most people don't really consider about Fijis is they're not all that active. They're not like a green iguana or cyclura or some of the like rhino iguanas and stuff like that. They're just not like that. They definitely definitely are a much more slow-moving, kind of slow-acting type species. Since moving in here, he has definitely demonstrated that. He doesn't eat quite as much. I imagine that's because he has a smorgasbord of plants to pretty much eat whenever he wants. And these are all, minus the palm tree, these are all native to Fiji. This grass is native to Fiji. Pothos is native to Fiji. So we really did try and provide a fairly well-rounded enclosure for him. And truth be told, I think it paid off. I mean, you guys can see just how fantastic that looks. So that's our boy Tatoka, doing absolutely fantastic. The doors to his enclosure right now are actually off. He's really not active enough to benefit from having them on all the time. And the main reason why is because we don't have a fan or air circulation on this tank yet. We do need to install that, but in the time being, basically what we do is we'll just have a couple hours a day. We come home, take off the doors, and then obviously there's ample air circulation for the tank. Now we've covered some of the kind of main topics, Tatoka being one, the rat snakes getting a huge enclosure. Some of you guys might be wondering, where's some of the other stuff? Like the Spangleri aren't there anymore. What happened to some of the tanks that you guys saw in the first clips, the Uromastyx tanks and stuff like that? Well, never fear. It is now a traditional reptile room tour. We're going to take a walk around, show you guys everything, and hopefully show you some cool animals that you've never seen before. Let's go. I feel like I do have to acknowledge this 24 by 18 by 36 vivarium. It is still here, still unchanged. You guys will see why. There's been a lot of changes happening elsewhere in the room, and because this isn't like a main priority to get this tank all destroyed and looking good the way I want it, it's pretty much stayed the way it is. There's a bunch of plants in there. It is actually looking fairly solid, but just in my opinion, I would like it to look a little bit better and a little bit more well-suited for probably the Crusohylochrospidopus, but we'll see them later. So I think where we're going to start is by talking over here at this rack, because I think it is important to talk about the variety of different styles of keeping we have in the room. We have rack style for primarily the babies. However, we did actually change the adult hognoses into racks as well. There's many reasons for that. If you want me to go into another video, I will, but I think it is important to address that we have nice bioactive vivariums and some racks. Love it or hate it. Let me know your comments down below what you think about it. So it is baby season. As you can see, a bunch of the worms are hanging out at the fronts of their bins. Now, one thing I will mention as we are looking at all of these bins are these beautiful labels. This QR code you can actually scan and see a full resume, I don't know, a full review of its eating, its shedding, its whole history. So that is something that we offer when we sell our animals. Very cool. If you guys are interested in finding out a little bit more about this, maybe I can make a video about it, but I'll leave a link down below for the label printer if you guys are interested. It is an Amazon affiliate link. You can help me out by purchasing a really cool labeler for all of your snakes. This rack was custom made from one of our friends to fit our needs. As you can see, there's a shelf there that we can pull out, and there's some larger bins on the bottom, some kind of medium-sized, and then this fits the medium-sized and the baby bins that we use. As I mentioned, it is baby season, and as you can tell, this is one of our Super Arctics. I guess while I'm showing these off, I should let you know that these guys will all be available. If you guys are interested in any hognoses, let us know. Shoot us a message either on our website, thejunglevault.ca, or you can always comment on this video, shoot me a message on Instagram. There's a lot of different ways you can get in contact with us. Pretty much everything here is available. Some of the holdbacks that we are keeping back is this beautiful Super Arctic female. She's constantly hungry and she hasn't even had her first shed yet. Before they have their first shed, they look kind of gray like this. She's looking a little bit nicer now. After their first shed, they look like the Super Arctic that I just showed you. That is like pure, nice, bright white. This one has pretty low melanin, but typically they have a nice black coloration to them, and I suppose that will be enough for the babies. Bean geckos, because, I mean, look how cute. You guys don't even have a sense of scale. This is my hand. She'll probably freak out, but Yeah, you can just see how tiny they truly are. A very unknown species of gecko that Bree really loved and introduced me to, and now I really love. And next to them, we do have an import split with somebody you guys might know, Maddie Smith from YouTube here. I believe we are keeping 2 of the geckos you're about to see. So this is one of them, another little baby Galeatus, and then we have a few adults in a group as well. I don't know. Of course, none of you are out. Why would you? There we go. There's one of them. Absolute stunner. These guys, again, some of them are split for us. Some of them are for Maddie. We're just housing them for now until we can export them to the States. Fantastically cool species of gecko. That is something you'll notice throughout the room. We have a lot of geckos that most other people don't have. Down in the bottom portion of the rack, there's some very cool stuff. I'll show you a couple examples. I'm not going to go through every single one. This is a stunning gray-banded kingsnake. Bree has chosen to go the extremely clean route when it comes to the gray bands. I mean, just, whew, look how stunning. What else do we have down here? We have a few of them. We have Scoria as well. That's like her OG. She's hiding under her water dish. And then we also have my project. This is Sedona, the beautiful Arizona mountain king snake. This is Pyromelana woodeni. Currently a locality. Might be split off into its own species. It really depends who you're talking to. But yeah, currently it's a locality of the Arizona mountain king snake. Again, another gorgeous snake. I believe both her and Saguaro are going into shed. Down further, we have a couple beauties. This is Horizon. This is a Sunburst Hognose Snake. Come on. Come to the light. Rage. She's always ragey. Yep. Ragey. There she is. An absolute stunner of a snake. I don't even think it really picks up on camera just how, I guess, creamsicle-y she really is. I mean, hopefully some of you guys can see that through the camera here. Just, whew. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Morph of Hognose Snake. And then I suppose I'll show you Rorschach. He is the male to all those super arctics that you guys just saw, the babies. Rorschach is a gem and was part of a video that we did where we unboxed him and the lavender, which was a very, 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 very expensive import. That is the rack. And now we can move on. I think we'll start over here. So this is a 6-foot rack, I believe it is. One of the big heavy duty ones. We will start up top here with this beautiful little friend over here. This is something you guys probably haven't seen before. I'm going to have to get some footage of him later. I tried to entice him out, but he didn't even want any food right now. So this is actually a little baby Shovelnose Snake. They are an incredible species that we have captive bred here at the Jungle Vault. You guys have never seen them before because they are in the quarantine room. We're still monitoring. We're basically getting enclosures ready. They've been here for about 2.5 months, and we're going to do probably a full 6 months in quarantine just to be safe. This is the first captive bred specimen in Canada, and I think 3rd in North America. Their scientific name is Sonora occipitalis. There's also another one, I think it's Kyanactus, something like that. I don't know, you know, science is weird that way, but we currently have him in a little, basically, plastic bin because honestly, you guys are looking at him right now. He is so tiny, and that's probably about 1.5 times the size of when he hatched. Keeping him in a large display simply wouldn't work because they aren't built to keep something that small. Moving on from arguably one of the coolest snakes that we own, we can go to some of the babies of the coolest species that we own, or genus in my opinion. These are baby little Tachydromus smaragdinus in here. They are such characters. You'll see the parents over there in that tank, but these are a few of the babies. I used to have like 10 or 15 of them. They have all sold, and these are some fresh babies that hatched out about 6 days ago, somewhere around there. I guess by the time you're seeing this, probably they're 2.5 weeks old, but right now, as filming, they're about 6 days old. Incredible species, and I absolutely love them. You'll see me, I have some food for one of the other species of Tachydromus that we keep, but first, we're gonna check out the beautiful Ufaga Pumilio Bastimentos. Their tank is doing solid, I would say. Finally, the moss is starting to grow in a little bit. If you guys are curious on a whole video of how I set this up, I'll leave a link in the description down below for you guys to check it out. But yeah, they're doing good. If I can show you some frogs. As these guys are chowing down on some flies, I did just want to say that these are one of my dream species of frogs that I was finally able to get. I'm so happy to have them. I do plan to upgrade their enclosure in the near-ish future. We have a lot of stuff going on, as you guys are about to hear throughout the course of this video. Right now, this tank is okay for them and is doing fine. Obviously, I'm in no real hurry to bump them up in terms of space, but their next enclosure will be a bit bigger, so I'm very happy to see they're doing well. I believe I have 2 females, unfortunately, so I am in the search for a male, and the guy that I bought these guys from did say that he'd be willing to get me a male, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that happens, because the reason why I love Pumilio is it really brings me back to Costa Rica. That's something that I miss so much. These aren't native to Costa Rica. They're closely related cousins. The blue jeans are actually native to Costa Rica, and we did find some. So a beautiful species of frog that I've been wanting for a very long time, and I finally have. Now, right next to them, we have one of my favorite species that we own out of all of our reptiles. This is Tachydromus dorsalis. These guys are absolutely fantastic. This is the male. He's in a leap habitat enclosure that I'm kind of testing out for right now. And so far so good, I suppose. But this male has wreaked some havoc. He ended up biting the female and causing her a little bit of an injury. You guys will see her later. She's doing absolutely 100% fine. But right now he's kind of bacheloring it up in this setup. And man, just him with this plant, like the flowers, the beautiful lizard. Just how can you go wrong? So much fun. And these guys are super personable. He's been a little bit more active recently and kind of more willing to be social. I do want to thank Rico. I know that I said I would show you out in the video, so I do want to thank Rico for providing these guys. They were imported from the States, and now they are being captive bred in Canada by me. The babies are up there that you'll see in a little bit, but I believe I'm the only one in Canada that is actually producing this species. Let's show you guys why I love them so much. Allow me to show you why these are the elite tier mini monitor. Excuse me. Properly exposed and stuff. You can actually see them from here. Oh. The greatest part about these guys is they have a very fast metabolism, and when you're feeding them primarily insects, it means you can pretty much feed them like 3 to 4 crickets a day, and they'll maintain like a nice healthy weight. No, wait. Yes. I love them. If you guys are interested, we do actually have some for sale. Shipping is available to the States, but obviously much cheaper for Canadians. And Tachydromus dorsalis. Don't sleep on them. Tachydromus genus in general is just absolutely fantastic. So I think that helped clarifies why these guys are such cool lizards. I mean, not only can you set up a really neat tank like this with some beautiful flowering plants, you can have a very interactive chill lizard. Let's stop chatting about the male and we'll go talk to the female over here. I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but I do have to show you the female counterpart to the male at the same time because look at her. She's such a sweetheart. Now, I mentioned that the male did kind of beat her up a little bit, and allow me to elaborate. Essentially what happened is I've been putting them on a bit of a diet plan, and I believe the male probably just either saw her moving and took her as food, or something happened, breeding related potentially. But what ended up happening as a result of that, right below the elbow joint there, you guys can hardly even see it. There might be a little faint kind of whitish line there, but this was right before we ended up leaving for Florida for Animal Con. I basically had this tank set up and I just threw her in here, was like, okay, you know what? I need to put her in here. I need to separate her just in case the male decides to go any further. I was very concerned. I talked to my vet. He basically said, you know what? It's definitely not looking good. But one other remarkable feature of the Tachydromus genus is their ability to heal. I noticed when I first got these guys, the Smaragdinus, because we had a Smaragdinus that had a necrotic tip to its tail, Dr. Brown ended up lancing the tip of its tail. That means cutting it off, essentially. And the rate at which the tail grew back was phenomenal. And the best part is you can't even tell. Like if I showed you, oh yeah, that female had her tail off, like there's no breaks, the scalation is all aligned. It is remarkable healing and incredibly fast at that. I was hopeful and I'm glad that I was because she's doing great. Just a phenomenal lizard. Like one of the tops of the reptile room. She does the same thing. She tongue feeds just like the male. I have her out in my hand occasionally. I've rambled about these guys for like a solid 5 minutes, so I'll let them go. Just know that everybody needs some Tachydromus. Now that we have thoroughly covered the Tachydromus, we can move on to the beautiful Crusiohyla craspidopus. And again, I will be showing you a few of the babies as well. The updates since I last filmed is tanks still doing good, and the frogs themselves in here are doing fantastic as well. I can't remember, I don't think I had the juveniles in with the adults last time I filmed, but now I do. So we have 2 adult Crusiohyla craspidopus, and then we have 2 subadult Crusiohyla craspidopus, or otherwise known as the fringed leaf frogs. This plant is the bane of my existence. It is a thrip magnet. It is the only plant in this room that still has thrips. I bring beetles that are meant to destroy thrips, and they still come back. This plant will be getting ripped out here soon and replaced with something else eventually, but I probably won't bother doing that until I actually have their full setup done, because what's the point? This tank is doing great. They're happily eating, zooming around. Not that you'd be able to tell based on their very casual demeanor. They are very, very cool species of frog, and I'm thrilled to keep them. Not many people watched this other video of mine where I went and got, with my good friends Dion and Alec, some baby Crusiohyla craspidopus. If you want to see that video and you are curious about the Crusiohyla craspidopus, there's tons of good information in that video. I will link it in the description down below for you guys to check out. Some very small froglets and tadpoles. These are the tadpoles that have morphed out, and unfortunately, a couple of them have passed on. Something is not right with their care across the board. My friends have lost some, I have lost some, I've lost less than most of my friends. I just think that we're missing something, whether it's food related, setup related, but they seem to do best for all of us in a very sterile environment like this, and then gradually moved to a nice bioactive enclosure like you see over there. Hopefully these guys do well. I'll probably be selling a few of them, so again, if you are interested, let me know. That's the Crusiohyla craspidopus, and without bouncing around too much, now we can cover the bottom row and show you guys that I don't think my Savu was in an enclosure last time I made a video. I don't remember for sure. I also don't see him. He's all the way... Oh, there he is. Aha! Being a typical Savu himself. He launches himself. There you go. You guys can just see he is a savage. Typical Savu personality. I think he's doing fantastic though. He eats every time we feed him. The plants are doing okay in this setup. I would like to get another plant to put up here because I think that would kind of fill in the tank a little bit nicer. He's definitely a jerk in his enclosure. I'm debating between the name Snapdragon and Pixel. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Oh man, that was scary. You're so scary. Still retaining quite a bit of the orange pigment, although, again, as he grows, he will slowly lose that, turning mostly into a darkish gray, maybe a tint of orange. I don't want to get too close because his strike range literally comes out the tank. Not that he's very accurate. I don't want to stress him out too much. That's just the way he is. You walk by his enclosure, and he does that. I can't really control it. But moving on from our Fury Man to a slightly less Fury Man is Cardinal. She is a Oreocryptophis porphyraceous coxeye, otherwise known as a Thai bamboo rat snake. She has recently, I think maybe last reptile room tour, I think we might have just moved her in here. This is a 4 foot long by 17 inch deep by 18 inch tall tank, and she is doing so good. I love to see just a beautiful red rat snake in a lushly planted vivarium. You can't go wrong. When space permits, I think we probably will keep her in an even larger enclosure, maybe like a 6 foot, just because why not, right? That's definitely something you hear pretty much every reptile room tour is, yeah, we're going to be upgrading enclosures. And over time, it slowly happens, but of course, there are numerous limiting factors, mostly space. And unfortunately, all this stuff costs money. Gotta be cognizant of that. This is one of Bree's first snakes. Bree's had Cardinal since Cardinal was just a little tiny baby. They're just so cool. And the best part about them is they are cold. They like to be frigid in terms of care. So she is on the very bottom of the rack. The AC vent is right above her. And yeah, she stays cold and does fantastic. Very cool species of medium-sized rat snake that you really don't see in many people's collections. There are definitely some breeders here and there, but in terms of like YouTubers, I don't really know of anybody that has them. Thank you for making an appearance, Cardinal. It always helps when the animal's actually out. Now, having just shown you these guys, we can move on over here to one of the racks. This is Striker up here. You guys, actually, I don't even need to pull the bin out. There he is. The man, the myth, the legend, the OG, the oldest in the room. Besides me. I'm the oldest. But, yeah. That is my 18-year-old leopard gecko. Normal, high yellow, doing fantastic. You guys might have seen some of the old videos and noticed that I did move him into a bin. My morals say this is wrong. My observations say that this is the best thing possible for him because, unfortunately, in his bioactive setup, he was not doing well. His mobility has gone down significantly. You guys can kind of see his back legs just don't have much oomph anymore. And that was like perfect timing. That was really weird. So I ended up moving him into one of the bins. And to be honest, it was probably the best thing that I could possibly do. He is doing absolutely fantastic. It conflicts with what I believe in, but you know what? I can't argue with it. The evidence that he's doing so much better in this little bin habitat. Just look at him. He's just so cute. The rest of this rack, minus the very bottom, is all different hognoses. In here, we have Rowan, Bree's very first hognose. If you guys haven't seen the video I made on her, she is absolutely not a normal hognose. I don't know what the heck happened. We really don't know. I'll leave a link down below if you guys want to see the full video going over what we think it might be, what it could be otherwise, various different possibilities that could have happened here, but we do have several holdbacks from her that we will be keeping. That's Rowan, one of the craziest stories of hognoses ever, and Bree's first hognose. Down from her is Equinox. Equinox is a moon dust, which is a Arctic lavender. A very beautiful specimen. Hello. Are you angry? Are you angry? You gonna jump? She's like, rage. Rage. I don't think she saw me there. Hi. No. Did you not see me there? Is that why you're freaking out? This is Equinox. Like I said, she's a fantastic lavender Arctic, or moon dust as that combination is called. She's doing great. Eating like a champ. Can't complain there. Moving down, we have Callista, who is a AAA, an Arctic albino anaconda. She will probably be ready for next year. We'll have to see after her brumation what she's clocking in at on the scales. But she's definitely old enough to be bred. She'll be 3 this year. So almost 4, I'm pretty sure. But that was Callista. And now that we've seen Callista, we can go down to Syrup, who is a purple line tiger. Basically just a normal. The tiger is the extended saddles going down the sides. And she's a purple line because she's... Can't really tell in this lighting because it's so warm, but she's a lot more burgundy than a standard normal hognose. But we're hoping to have her producing either next year or the following year, because a lot of our stuff is really high end and not everybody wants a very expensive hognose, whereas she will be producing mostly normal. We love that, and yeah, we'll see what she produces next year for the season of 2023. Down here we have Lux. This is one of our kind of stud males. Hello. Good morning. Ooh, angry. Are you like actually that dead? Oh, there it is. That is Lux. He is a beautiful albino conda. Nothing crazy morph-wise, but still a fantastic snake that we love dearly. And this was Bree's second hognose. And finally, at the very bottom, is an absolutely miserable looking Pyromilana, or the Arizona Mountain King. This is Saguaro. He is deep in shed, as you can see by those eyes. So he looks terrible, but he still ate yesterday. So can't really complain about that when your snake is eating and in the middle of shed. Those are both wins. Maybe I'll post some pictures on Instagram of him after he sheds, because he was actually my very first snake ever. Love him dearly. And his I gotta give a little extra shove because we have wedges at the bottom. That covers the adult rack. These are the footprint of a 36 by 18 enclosure. Fairly good size for all of these guys. And now that we have covered this, like... I'm going to call it the sunset rack because it looks very warm compared to the rest of the room. And that's actually its tone, like it is very warm. Now we can cover this other 6-foot rack. This will be, again, looking much different by the time you guys see it in the next edition of the Reptile Room Tour in, I guess, November. Man, this year is just flying by. Anyways, we have covered this beautiful girl here. This is the female Tachydromus dorsalis. We have briefly mentioned the Tachydromus smaragdinus, which are these guys. They look very similar to the dorsalis, but are A, much smaller, and B, a little bit more flighty, but they're still super, super intriguing and very curious critters. They really hope that I have food, and in fact, I can deliver because we were feeding the dorsalis earlier, so I guess I'll feed these guys too. Just throw in a bunch of crickets and watch them go nuts. Something I love about them, and I don't think we'll see it, but they use their tail and tie it in a knot. Now, what do you mean by that? Now, okay, come on, you guys, really? Hey. Okay. What they do is they tie their tail in a knot around a branch to like reach down and find some stuff. So I might try it with one of these guys later, maybe in like a reptile room feeding video if you guys are interested. And I'll definitely show it in a care video of these guys as well. But these guys differ from the dorsalis because they are smaller and the males are sexually dichromatic. So this is a form of sexual dimorphism. And what that means is the males are a different color. So as you can see, this male has a nice brown stripe down his back. Figured he almost had a cricket, so he'd stand still. But you guys can definitely tell that he's got a beautiful green dorsal line and brown lateral lines. Something that is a characteristic of the smaragdinus. Hi there. Yeah, that's what I thought. I guess I can stop ranting about them now. That is the Tachydromus smaragdinus, or the green grass lizard. And then I guess I'll say the common name of these. These are the Sakishima grass lizards. So now you have both common names. This is Elysium and Euphoria Pine Isle Chahouas. This is one of our pairs. Bree has been going absolutely nuts with Chahoua. So you'll definitely see some more of them in the end of this video. He is a dick. Elysium, definitely a dick. Like, you come in here and he'll like fly at you. He got Bree in the palm of her hand and took a little chunk out. So I don't really feel like messing around with these guys. In fact, I will not mess around with these guys, and I'll just show you guys them. As you guys can see, they are doing fantastic. Eating, growing. We do have one clutch of babies from them that you'll see a bit later. And now I have to increase my voice as we go up, because I know I said I'm done talking about them, but I lied. These are the baby Sakishima grass lizards, or the Tachydromus dorsalis. As they age, they turn this nice emerald green. Fantastic species. I'm gonna keep it at that. Nice and short and sweet for you guys. And then we can move down over here to the Boyega nigriceps. I highly doubt she's out, and in fact I know she's not. They're quite nocturnal, so typically only active at nighttime. Doesn't even take food from the tongs. We just leave it up there, and she comes up and munches them down. We have eggs. Canada first, baby. Let's go. Now that we've covered the Boyega, we can come down here to Turtletown. We have just moved the Geometa spangleri into their enclosures. You can see this is the male. Hi. Hi. You're so creepy. Why? I don't like it. Stop. Chilling on his little throne there. Their tanks are 24 by 18 by 12 exoteras. You can see it's all fitted out with some cork. And we're experimenting with a much deeper water dish. Now, you guys know, if you follow myself or Dion Reptiliatus here on Instagram, you guys will see that they dirty their waters immediately. I changed this about 2 hours ago, and it's actually not dirtied yet, so that is a miracle. They seem to be doing well. The females over here, we do have to order a new LED bulb for that light, so they can have some light at the back, and filming will be much easier. But for now, we work with what we got. I do have a UV bulb mounted above their tank, which makes the UVI of the front of their enclosure about 1, and the back of their enclosure like 0.1. So yeah, they do get some UVB exposure. I'm very intrigued to see if their behaviors change at all during this process of adding UVB. So far, not really. As far as I know, that portion at the back there doesn't actually get any higher UVB than right up front here. And oh, she saw me moving. She's like, bruh, you got some food for us? You got some food? I think I might be able to feed you in this video. I know it's not a feeding video, but let's go find some food for them. So we did just add them into their enclosure, and I don't think I've ever tried to feed them superworms before, so this will be a first for them. Clearly enjoying it somewhat, so that's positive. What about you? He's like, what are these things? Ah, dinner. Nice. I love to see it. Oh boy. There you go. Sweet. Well, I'm glad they like superworms. Like I said, I've never tried to feed them before, and I just moved them into their enclosure. No, don't run away with it. No. If you're going to be a punk about it, I'm just going to give this one to the male or to the female. Yep. Yep. That's what's going to happen. Oh, there you go. No, no, no. Oh, gosh. Turn around. Stop. Stop. Turn around. There you go. No, you're supposed to eat it in your dish, man. Woman. Are you really that unsure? He's very unsure of what's going on. She is loving it, though. I'm actually happy I tried this. Because like I said, I've never fed them superworms before. I never have. Maybe Brie has when I haven't been around, but I know me personally, I have not. And she is absolutely gorging, so that's good. Oh, and you're eating it too. That's exactly how I wanted this feeding to go. So thank you, both of you. And maybe with the cool this year, we'll get some eggs from you. Your breeding size. So after that display of intelligence from her, we can move on from this rack and go over to, I guess, the last rack portion of this tour. And we'll start with Sheldon. I know I have said that he will be getting upgraded, and he will. I pinky promise that. Right now, he still is in the bin. Unfortunately, in the last video, I did mention that we were going to build him an outdoor enclosure. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, mostly due to reasons out of our control. So I don't want to dig too far into that, but he is still doing great. We still do let him run around the room, chasing our toes, eating lettuce. We feed him outside, like we'll throw some lettuce, we'll scatter it around the room, and he'll zip around eating the lettuce, hanging out with us. So do not think that he stays in this bin 24/7 all the time, no matter what. Please. Above, we have some beautiful Australian geckos. First, we'll start with Slinky. Is a very kinked, backed. Man, it's so dark over here. Slinky, can you come up here? You're so cute. Look at him. Oh my goodness. Look how cute he is. Just the cutest little thing. So Slinky came from Europe. He came with a very kinked back, and he's doing great. Unfortunately, I don't know if it was his clutch mate or just another baby that came with him, didn't make the trip from Europe. He came here, he had a severe head deformity, and then passed about 20 hours later. So these two and this one are all Strophrus wellingtoni. They are a gorgeous species of Australian gecko that you do not see often. We got them before the CITES took place. That was kind of the last hurrah for them. And the male in here, you can't really see him. He's behind the wood. He is kind of skinny, so we're thinking we might treat him with a little bit of dewormer, and we separated him from the female so that he can we can monitor him a little bit better and make sure that he's eating and keeping down what he eats. And now the Ciliaris are doing fantastic. This is our male. Excuse me, buddy. Can I see your beautiful eyeball? Your eyeball. There we go. Hello. Stunning individuals. These guys, again, are absolutely psychotic for food. They are kind of tricky. I haven't made a video really dedicated to these guys because they're very tricky, at least in our collection and most of the people we talk to. I just don't think we've truly dialed in their care just yet. And it's a process, so know that. And that's something that we take on to ourselves to try and figure out an optimal setup, temperatures, cooling, the whole shebang. These are the Strophrus ciliaris. And I have a feeling that the female wellingtoni... Oh, you actually are out, but you're going to be impossible to film. Oh, you don't get to see the best part, which is her eyes. I guess you can kind of see them. Yeah, these are the Strophrus wellingtoni. This is the adult female. Stunning, stunning critters. They, again, you truly don't see pretty much anywhere. Unless you're really into the Strophrus genus. You probably don't know that these exist. Or you live in Australia, and then you have a bunch of the cool critters that we can't have. But I guess for those of you Aussies out there, you probably think the same thing about, like, a veiled chameleon. I suppose we'll stick with the desert theme for now and go up to one of the other most personable geckos that we have. These are the Beaded Geckos, or the Leucasium damium. Hello! Friends! These guys are some of the coolest little geckos that you can own. Similar to the Stenodactylus, these guys are an Australian gecko. They're just so funny. Like, you can come in here and they stare at you. Half the time we think they're dead because we walk in and they just, like, flat out face plant on the ground in the weirdest positions, and they are sleeping. But straight up, if you were to walk in here, you'd be like, wait, what? What happened to them? How did this happen? But nope, they're just goofy little goofballs. that love to sketch out their owners. That is the Beaded Geckos, the Leucasium damium. I'm sure they're staring up now. Yep. Hi. Very cool species of gecko that we hope to produce this coming year. You're going to hear me say that about pretty much everything, but we do truly hope to produce them this year. Obviously, again, it's a very experimental thing. There's not a whole lot of producers in the world. Moving over from them, we come to one of the most popular geckos in the trade right now, and that is the Mourning geckos. You're not going to see them. We did end up selling most of them at the CRBE. Cool little gecko that works great for dart frog tanks as well. Now, moving on from the beautiful Mourning geckos, we can go to our plethora of Chahoua. Now, let me tell you, I love these guys, but Bree has a problem, okay? Let me just establish. Beyond that, these guys are fantastic. I am mostly kidding, but yeah, these guys are truly incredible. I love Chahoua. So does she. These guys are all PI Chahoua, so I'm not going to say that for every single one. But this is Rune. She will be paired for a special project that we have coming up this coming breeding season. I don't know if you guys will ever hear the light of it. I will make that decision when the time comes. For now, Rune is a gorgeous Chahoua, and we love her. Moving on from Rune, we have Jigsaw, who of course isn't out. So I guess I won't spend all that much time talking about Jigsaw because he's not here. Now over here we have Lark, and Lark is our first Chahoua baby that we ever produced. He's only like a year and a bit old. Absolutely gorgeous creature. And would you look at that? He's soaking up UVB. We have procured the UV meter. Look, there's already UV showing up out here. A bit of UVB right where he is sitting. Slightly lower, so it's actually slightly higher where he is. But with that being said, it's important to provide your geckos with UVB. I know a lot of people say that, oh, you know, they don't use it. But this is like, a lot of geckos will cryptic bask, so you don't even know they're absorbing UV. And then there's also geckos like this that literally are straight up just basking. Try and keep that in mind. It is a hot, contentious topic, in my opinion. Maybe we can discuss it more in another video, but that is Lark. Now, above Lark, we have some incredible Chameleon Geckos. These are Urodactylodes species. This is Occidentalis. Gorgeous, gorgeous critters in a 12 by 18 enclosure. There's a pair in here. They're a lot of fun. I'll make a care video about them eventually. Honestly, it'll just be the whole Chameleon Geckos as a whole because they're all pretty much the same care. And then moving over to this enclosure right next to them, Urodactylodes viardi. Again, 12 by 18 enclosure. Absolutely stunning. That's one of the big females. And then the male, little shrimp. This is Lemonade. We named him Lemonade because he's very yellow compared to the rest of the viardi that we've had. So that's the male that is in charge of making some magic happen, if you know what I mean. And one of the most pain in the butt lizards that we have is a holdback Tachycoma smaragdinus. She's in this 12 by 18 enclosure, and she makes a break for it every single time you open the enclosure. There has been several times that we've either had to snatch her out of the air, mid-air, grab her, or just straight up hit the floor and trap her because she is so hard to catch and so fast. But yeah, she's my very, very first Tachycoma that I ever produced. Besides being a little of a pain in the butt, she's doing great. We have changed a few things over here. These enclosures are all 4x2x2 or 120 gallons each. Let's dive into it, starting at the bottom with the Ackie, who is not out. That's unfortunate, and I actually do wish I could show you him because he's looking pretty sweet. He did just complete a shed, but fine, whatever. Cool, Vulcan, thanks. And above him, man, when I started filming this 2 hours ago, Indy was actually out. But now, Indy has gone. So in here is Indy, Breeze, Northern Blue-tongued Skink, Taliqua skinkoides intermedia, in a bioactive enclosure. Whoa. With live plants that haven't been completely destroyed yet. Now, he's not like aggressive by any means. It's just I really would prefer to not take a bite from a blue tongue because their jaw pressure is extremely powerful. So that's Indy. He is just going into shed, as you can see by the tip of his nose being a completely different color than the rest of his body. But he's doing great. He seems to be really doing well in this enclosure, and I'm very happy that we were able to upgrade him into such a nice enclosure. And now above him are these two goobers. These are the Uromastyx Jerry. This is Olga. This is Hugo. They're like, wait, do you have food? That is them. These guys are... Hi. Are you just gonna come and, like, chill or what? Nope. You're gonna, like, Vogue look into the camera. That's kind of cool. These guys are the Uromastyx Jerry, or the Saharan Uromastyx, as I have said. They are a fantastic species. To be honest, I think these guys are better than bearded dragons. Unfortunately, most of the time they cost more, and they are mostly wild caught. However, more captive bred animals are becoming available. I'm hoping to produce these guys for a second time next year. We're gonna have a very busy year next year, assuming all of the stuff actually does end up hatching, but it will truly depend on her and on you. So, are you up to the task? Yeah? I love them so much. They will be with me until the end of time. Their enclosure is now a 4x2x2. So it's bigger than it was before. And again, at some point, I would like to make essentially a fully like rock background, but that will have to be a complete custom enclosure because I don't really want to work in like vents and stuff like that and retrofit it for them. So someday you guys will be getting a fully large background enclosure. Whew, it has been nearly 2 hours of filming and we are still not done. So you know what? There's a couple more animals that I would like to show you. I think I might actually have to wait to get most of them on camera until after, like at nighttime, but we'll see what I can do with the magic of some crickets. First off though, we need to check out the baby Chahoua that we hatched from Elysium and Euphoria. And here they are, the relatively fresh hatchlings of Elysium and Euphoria. Don't look like a whole lot right now, but believe me, they will be gorgeous as adults. And then the other baby is... right here. Hello. Hello. You're kind of hard to see, but I'll also give you a bit of a mist. And, oh, wait. This is the first time I'm actually seeing this, but check this out. We have some new members of the fam. Little baby Urodactylodes viardi. As you can see, they were laid August 16th, and it is now the end of September, so they hatched today, September 25th, so just over a month incubating, and we have some brand new baby Urodactylodes viardi. We're gonna have to set up a bin for them, and we'll enjoy watching them grow. And the final rack of the Reptile Room tour, 2 hours of filming, leads to this moment. We have a bunch of little baby, well, these are slightly bigger, Symmetricus, Urodactylodes symmetricus. They'll be getting put in one of the 12x18s fairly soon here. And then we also have our baby Urodactylodes viardi and Occidentalis all here ready to go. Then down below here we have a beautiful Pseudodactylus peguensis zebrachus, otherwise known as the Thai forest gecko, Thai bento gecko. It has a few different names. There we are. Oh, was that some plant that you really do not want to eat? There you go. Is swinging a miss, but yes, that is a beautiful species of gecko that, again, you truly do not see anywhere, especially on YouTube. I mean, they are definitely, if you're a gecko hobbyist, you know about this genus and maybe about this species, but they're pretty much absent from any YouTube content. So hopefully that's a new species to some of you that enjoy the channel. We've had him for quite some time, or her actually, for quite some time, but now you guys get to see a pretty sweet video of her. Now moving down, we have Wallflower, which is, he's down here. This is another baby Chahoua that we actually won in an auction from Sundown Reptiles. So one of the like premier Chahoua breeders in the world. We won a beautiful baby Chahoua, so can't complain about that. We got it for pretty much half of what it was listed for. Neither Bree or I is complaining about that one. In the kind of epic looking vivarium next to him are some very cool plants, and the final two baby Amirga basileri sisa that I have in the reptile room. These guys are doing great. They're eating crazy. They're growing. I sold most of them at the expo, but there were a few more stragglers that are still here. So if you guys are interested, they are for sale. Let me know. I can't ship them to the States, but across Canada is totally cool. And down here, I will have to cut in a clip of these guys later tonight because they will only be out at nighttime. These are the beautiful clouded geckos, or the Geckoella nebulosus, a fantastic species of gecko that, again, you pretty much never see bioactive bin setups for right now until they're adults, and they will go into a nice display. I think we're going to set them up in something like that. To match these two together, I think they'd look pretty sweet in a setup like that. But right now, we're just letting them grow up. And now, my friends, that does it for the Reptile Room Tour October 2022. What an incredible episode. I do want to say that I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, leave them in the comment section down below. I answer every single comment you guys have. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff, I'm going to try and get back to the pretty much monthly Reptile Room updates, because we do have a ton of stuff going on, as you guys have just seen. If you want to follow me for the adventure, as well as some very cool videos in between, make sure you click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one. Later, guys.